Yeah, this is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please like and subscribe. Do you know what I remember years ago? Yeah, when I was with two guys called Peter Peterson and Peter Marsh from Rabbit Grove, and I used to work with them in Roots in Acton, knocking up nicking all the cables and all that, and knocking it all up and copper and everything. You know what I mean? But anyway, as a kid, I remember a lot from them. You know, they taught me quite a lot. But I was only young, 16, 15, 16, and we was going down to Austin, Westminster, the old Austin, Westminster, big motor, big powerful car. Pete was driving it, and the other Pete was sitting in the front seat. And he got out of the car, was stopped halfway near the Scrubs Lane, Duquesne Road, and he got out of the car and he went to the boot. And I thought, what's he going in the boot for? He picked out like a big stick with a boxing glove on the end of it, yeah? I thought, hold on, what's he doing? And he made me get in the front of the seat. He made me get in the front of the car and he got in the back. And as I was driving down the road, in them days, what's that about? I don't know, 60, 66, 65, 66, something like that. And in them days, they never had, maybe a bit more than that, bit young for 54s, yeah? They never had, what you call it, they never had the cars. A lot of schools in the Scrubs never had cars, always on push brakes. You know what's going to happen, don't you? He's going past this screw on the push brake, wallop! He's hitting with the boxing glove on the end of the stick. The screw's gone flying. I thought, crikey. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. It shocked me, you know what I mean? I thought, mate, if you ever go, if they recognise you, mate, and you ever go back in that Scrubs, you're in trouble. I said, not only you in trouble, but I said, they nicked us now, going down the road. I'd go up it myself, yeah? Anyway, they were crazy, yeah? And I was just talking about we was going past the Scrubs, and I mean, I remember as a kid, walking around the outside of the Scrubs, around the Common, Scrubs Common all around there, looking to it, and it wasn't that really big. You could go around it in I don't know, half an hour, walk around it, and think about it, that in that prison, at that times, was 3,000 people used to live there, yeah? Used to live maybe 3,000 people. How can 3,000 people live in that little square space, living there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? And the only wing in there with single cells is D wing, yeah? Because D wing is a long-term wing. You know, it used to be a women's prison. That used to be a woman's side of it. There used to be a wall going from cutting D wing off from the other nicks, yeah? So C wing was the last men's wing, yeah, but they made knocked the wall down and made it to another man's wing, but it used to be a woman's prison, yeah, because I've seen photographs of the Scrubs of D wing when it was a woman's prison, yeah. Anyway, so all the rest of the cells in there mostly are four up. Or four, mind you, the Bolster wing, B wing, isn't. It's got to be single. They don't, for some reason, they don't 2 up, 3 up, 4 up YPs and Bolster boys, yeah? But they did convicts, yeah? So all the other wings maybe are 3 up and 4 up. You can imagine, I mean, when I went to, the first time I've ever went to the Scrubs, and I went in there, couldn't believe the smell. I mean, the smell as a Bolster boy it's a lot different. It was different. It was quick. It was a different. I think it was a different part of the reception that we used to go in, the boys, yeah. But anyway, I remember going in the Scrubs as a con, going in reception and going in a big cell. Everyone's fighting and being sick and all this, that, and the other. And you come out and you go to see the screw. And you go along, and in them days, yeah, they used to have a bath wing, yeah, like a bath wing, yeah, and where you used to go have your bath, yeah, before you go up to the wings. I'm on about reception. This is years ago, yeah, crazy, absolutely mad, right? And what they used to do, you used to go along, you used to get your kit, you used to get all your bathroom kit. And all your stuff you got to put on, right? You take all your clothes off, all your civvy clothes, and you walk with a pair of pants that come down to your knees, right, to the bathroom. And you go in the bath place, and they get a stick. They've got about 10 baths. They get a stick where they put between 2 and 3 inches of water in it, yeah? I'm not joking. 2 or 3 inches of water. Then all the people go in the bath, get in the baths, yeah? So they don't empty the bath, maybe have 10 in at a time, as they'd be all day doing it, you know what I mean? Put 10, 15 people in at a time. So one goes in the bath, has a wash, comes out, no one gets in the bath. So you can imagine what's in the bath. Oh, what is terrible, you know what I mean? If you don't get in the first one, the second one, you're in trouble. You know, so anyway, so you get in the bath, you come out, jump out of the bath, you get ready, get all your stuff. You go and get your food, you can't believe it. You look at this food and you think, oh, blimey. And you've got to remember that sometimes the reception food is a lot better than actually what you get on the wings. It's the same, but it seems different. It seems better, yeah? And so you get your food, you get a mug of tea, a little mug of tea, you sit down, you have your food. Everybody's nagging, smoking your face, you get like, yeah, go back to your wing, go put your wing wherever you go to. When I went there the first time, it was like 4 up. 4 in a cell. It was mad. 4 people in the cell, maybe 2 piss pots in there, aluminium piss pots. It's crazy. Don't you think it's crazy? It's mad, isn't it? And yet we come back again. Yeah, we come back. But I remember in 1974, 73 or 74, I was in the scrubs and I met this guy called Kenny Beagle. And Kenny Beagle, ginger fella, well built, stocky guy. And I was on the threes, he was on the twos, and I used to see him go down to the gym with a towel or anything, go to the gym door and go through. So one day I got over and said, listen mate, any time you come to the gym? He went, yeah, he said, we're in the powerlifting team now, do you want to do something else? I said, yeah, anything to get in the gym, yeah? Because everybody, the most important part of prison, when you go in prison, is if you can, get in the gym. It's fantastic. You got to get in the gym. You know, everyone wants to get in the gym. You know what I mean? So I thought, yes, mate, this is the thing to do. Yeah, this is the. Do you know why you look so good in prison? Don't you? Believe it or not, you look so good because you eat. You eat at the right times. Yeah, breakfast, dinner, whatever it is. You don't eat. I mean, come on, and then that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you get your tea. Boom, bang up. That's it. You don't eat all night. In them days, you never used to eat all night until the morning. Now, you eat all the time. You don't stop eating in prison. You can eat as much as you like because you got it in yourself, yeah? But you always look good when you come out of there. I don't know if you've seen people when they come out of prison, they look good, don't they? All gleaming and bright, they look good, yeah? But it's because you diet. You're eating the proper food and you eat proper, you know? You don't eat like pig, you don't eat piggy-fied, you're in the gym and like. Anyway, so Ken said, you want to join the powerlifting team? I said, yeah, love it. Love to join the powerlifting team, yeah. Got in there, and the first day I went in there, I met this big guy in there. He had a dodgy shoulder. He was some sort of top guy. This guy was some sort of top, I don't know, some hitman or mafia man, some big top guy, bald head. Nice fella, mate. This fella was nice, but powerful man. And he was fantastic at squatting. He's very bad at benching, but fantastic squat. And I never got to know his name, yeah, but I got to know Kenny Beagle, yeah. And they got me on the squats, so much so I couldn't get up the stairs. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I couldn't even bend, mate. I was so much in a state. And when I had to go to the toilet, I don't forget, you're 2 up or 3 up, yeah. I think I was 3 up. But trying to go to the toilet was virtually impossible. To bend down, my arse was killing me, yeah? So, you know, you can imagine what it's like because you've got to do a poo on a bit of paper, fold it up, put it out the window, yeah? Anyway, then it's like all these things happening, yeah? And then you go to another nick, a big nick or whatever. And do you know what? All for them places, you're meeting people, right? You're meeting people and you don't know who they are. And some of these people are raving nutcases, you know that. And so you think, they're no one, you know, nothing, yeah? And later on through your sentences, some of them go, yeah, no, you're joking, really? You're mad. And yet, you've seen him walking about in another, I tell you what happens about prison, yeah? Prison, you always see the same people. In my days, You always used to see the same people. You go away, you come back, same people. You go away, come back, same people. You go to a different nick, same people. And all of a sudden, one day, big sentences, you come back to prison, different people. You now are nobody. You used to be somebody, but now you're nobody. I've always had a good name in prison. I've always had quite a big name, powerful name, was fighting, this, that, and the other bit. Come on, you've got people later on who try to take your position, and then you've got to start fighting. There's crazy prisons about that, yeah? About fighting and being number one, yeah? But Albany, good prison. I used to fight quite a lot in Albany. Got a good name in Albany. Got a good name in Chelmsford prison. I was massive. I was massive. When I was in Chelmsford prison, I was a massive man, yeah? I used to do weights like 24/7. Go to the gym in the morning, go to the gym in the afternoon, come back, go to Tony Lawrence, get his weight, go in the bathroom, crash, do the weights, curls, presses, all sorts of things in the bathroom, yeah? And go mad and get massive. And I remember people coming to see me, some people go walk in the toilet, look at me and they go, do you know what, Ray, mate, when you get out of prison, you can go and get jobs on yachts and all that. You know what I mean? Because I was quite good looking, believe it or not. You know, long hair, big muscular. I don't know if people see my picture. I sometimes put my picture on my podcast. You know, holding my son, one of my boys. You know, and that is me. Yeah, I'm sort of like, I think I was about 20 stone inch, 21 stone, but I was big and powerful. Just went out of prison, massive. Yeah, I was on the roids even then. I mean, I got on the roids when I come out of prison. I met a guy, Peter Kelly, not Peter Kelly, sorry, what's he called, Mickey Gooch. Went to Spain, and went there with a guy called Gary Kendall, Gary Stretch, and a few other people, and I was sort of like looking after him a little bit. It was good, you know. But this Gary Kendall was Mr. Britain, and Mr. Britain he was, and he got me on the roids. He one day went out in your board, right, you can go on the roids out there quite easy because you sell them in the chemist, yeah. So he done me in the chemist and he usually put it under his tongue to warm it up so it doesn't congeal, and I bet it congealed in my bum, yeah. And I couldn't walk, and he used to smash my arse with his fist, crash, to move it around the system, you know. And I got massive, yeah. And I was there for 2 weeks, and they got him on the roids. That's how I started. But anyway, go back a bit. And anyway, I met the guy Kenny Beagle. He was phenomenally strong. And when I went to Chelmsford prison, he was there, Kenny Beagle. You know what I mean? I thought he's in a rugby team, and this, that, and the other, and really muscular. You know, and we used to muck about in the gym. I used to take the mickey out of him because he was always bodybuilding, you know, like, and I was on a powerlifting team, he was bodybuilding. And I said, come on, Ken. I said, you was getting me out here in the scrubs when you was powerlifting. Come on, you know. So he went, no, I'll pass all that. Let me do my body. He looked good, mate. But I didn't know that he was a top hitman. And it only come out on a comment, yeah? Because I was in the scrubs and I was mentioning someone about Kenny Beagle. Right, I was with Kenny, and then someone said, "Oh, well, Kenny Beagle, like they shot him in the car park. He was driving somewhere to meet someone, and they come and shot him, bang, you know, killed him, stone dead. He was a top hitman." And I went, "Do you know what? It's crazy to meet that sort of guy. You know what I mean? That I mean, come on. I mean, there's quite a few people that I've met like that. You know, my mate Vicky Dart, very powerful, strong man, owns a big security company. Vicky Dart was a dangerous man to muck about with, mate, and yet he was such a nice man to talk to. He didn't put himself out, he wasn't a bully, he's nothing like that, but a dangerous man. Same thing, Vicky Dart, mate. Vicky Dart was the exact same thing. Powerful, strong, dangerous person. You wouldn't put yourself over as being like that when looking at him, because he was so nice and you could talk to him, he's nice, yeah? But look at him now. He's like, you know, he's a proper geezer. This bottom man. You know, I like Vic. You know, and I hold my hands up to Vicky Dart. He's moved forward, man. And there's quite a lot like that. You know, there's quite a lot like that. Even I didn't know Billy Blundell. I didn't know who Billy Blundell was. I heard about it. I didn't know he was as such. Yeah, in Maidstone, And, the guy was a proper nice guy. Talked to him, powerful, little short, powerful guy, get in the gym, spar around with me, knock me around the place. Yeah, it's a little bit, could not bang. And, and all of a sudden you get to realise who he is, talks about the Essex Boys and all that, who he is, and what he is, he's a top gangster. Him and his brother Eddie, top gangsters, yeah? And, and you think, God, blimey. And you go on and on, like Pat Adams, same thing. I never knew who Pat Adams was. Never do. It's only when I come out of prison and I was with Mickey Gooch that I knew who Pat was, But in prison, everyone's talking about who he was, this, that, but I didn't really know. But all I knew about Pat, he's talking to Pat, that he was a proper person. He didn't run no one down. He had a lot of respect. There was lots of guys wrapped around him all the time, all the time. I mean, there's a guy called Paul Seaborn. Paul Seaborn, very, always wrapped around Pat. There was a lot of people when I was at Albany wrapped around Pat. Loads of them, But I wasn't wrapped around him because I didn't know who he was. Even if I did, at that time, I'm not really bothered. He got the Barry brothers. He got, there's a lot of people when I was in Albany, a load of proper people in there, dangerous people. That, come on, dangerous people in there, mate, Albany. There's a lot of dangerous people, but names that I forgot, but you look at them, people say this, names like my mate Toby Ludlow, that was very dangerous in there, Toby, Nutcase, Peter Kelly, very dangerous people, but they're not, they're not that gangsterism type of people, Peter Kelly, I met him when I come home. He was a nice fella, Peter. Yeah, I like Peter Kelly. Rest in peace, Peter Kelly. This geezer was a nice geezer, a powerful guy, and he taught me a lot, Peter. He taught me a lot, and a proper guy. And Billy Blundell, proper guy. And when I was home, yeah. Even when I was home and I was looking after clubs in Twickenham and all that, and I was like, there was people that like you look at, you think, hold up, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Who is he? And all someone says, oh, that's so and so. He's a gangster. He's a proper gangster. What's his name? Well, it's Joey Pyle. What? You're joking? Really? It's like, I read the book, you know what I mean? You think, wow. And Joey, I met him on his rail, and he was with a guy called Alex Steen and Ray Bender, Ronnie Bender's brother, who was in prison, Ronnie Bender. Ray Bender, Alex Steen, and Joe Pyle. And I thought, yeah, nice. And young Joey wasn't that old then. He wasn't, I don't think he was even in the pub, and I looked at these people and I thought, God, a lot of respect for them, you know what I mean? Because they got nothing to prove that, they've done all the bits and pieces, yeah? They've done all that, And when I was in Lewisham, and you go down all these pubs, like when I first come to Lewisham, I started running, and I got to hear through the grapevine, the pub down the bottom of the road, I think it was called, it was in Brookbank Road, I remember being Brookbank Road pub, I don't forget the name of it, Swan or something, and you can walk in there, and all of a sudden you walk in there, you got Eddie Richardson there, Charlie Richardson there, all that little firm, and and one of my best mates in Maidstone prison was Billy Haywood, and Harry Haywood. I met Harry in the Harp and Erin, and I liked Harry. He was always telling jokes, a nice geezer. And Billy Haywood, he was a dangerous man. He was a gangster, Bill, proper gangster, but he loved his training, always running in Maidstone. I see him a few times in the bay. He can move about. He was a dangerous man. What happens in Smiths was down to Bill and the Richardsons. There's a big fight there. A lot of people got cut and hit with axes and big knives and shootings and all that. And my mate Jimmy Tibbert, who took the gun, in the Smiths. Jimmy Tibbert, he was my best. He used to train me, Jimmy Tibbert, and he trained me to perfection. Yeah, I was like big, powerful man, big, powerful, but big and fit. Yeah, I used to run sometimes 10 miles a day, with packed with bricks and sand in. Yeah, honestly, and then go down to Beckett and then train down there and fight down to Beckett, you know. And when you think people who write his books and good fighters, you know, who become the first ones really to get into this unlicensed fighting, like Roy Shaw. You know, I mean, I was sparring with Roy Shaw, and Roy Shaw used to knock me about, you know what I mean, when I was in the Beckett, but he got to a stage where I was going to knock him about, you know, and it's like, I never really wanted to fight Roy. Roy was a gentleman, I like Roy, yeah. And it's the same when I met Lenny McLean, and I met Lenny McLean when I was fighting a guy called Brian Hall. It's like, it's crazy, you meet these people, you get, you know, and you're in prison, you hear about all these bits and pieces, and you come out and this man's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be that, and you come out and you meet him, and he isn't this big, powerful guy that you thought you'd meet, you know what I mean? But Lenny was about the same weight as me at that time. I was very fit. I've been running all the time. I come out of prison big, started running, so I was about 17 stone, 17. Lenny was the same, and I met Lenny jumping out of the ring, and it's like, I could have been a friend of Lenny's, you know what I mean? I could have been a good friend of Lenny's, but you couldn't be a good friend of someone that wanted to, just wanted to pull you down to a size, yeah? And I was, who I thought I wasn't no mug. I was a really hard man, yeah? I come from West London, Acton, to come all the way to South East London, North London, and all one of them areas to fight. You know, it's the same as Lou Yates. Lou Yates come from where he come from up north to come down to London to mind the clubs, to be a bouncer in clubs and to fight. You've got to have some sort of bottle to do that. You know, like I thought that I had quite a lot of bottle to come from where I come from, West London, to come to Lewisham. But the only reason I come there really was because the girl that I was moved to Lewisham and I moved with her, yeah. But I still stayed in Lewisham after that fighting. I was fighting myself, and I had my own fights as well in Acton Town Hall. You know, I mean, I was a fool really because, I mean, Frankie Warren, he had maybe before me, he might have had 20, 30 fights, you know, had fighters and promotions, maybe had 6, 7 promotions. I had 2. But like a fool, as I was, to me, at that stage, money is more important than anything else. So all I wanted was to have money, to be that big time Charlie Potatoes, to be that person, yeah, be big and powerful and big and this, that, and that. It's about money, is it, all the time? But we all like money. So I went the other directions to armed robbery, rather than stick to what I was doing, boxing, promoting. And I could have maybe now been a proper promoter, professional promoter. I learned a lot of fighters. You know, and I got right involved with fighters. As I say, as a kid, I was always down Haverstock Hill, the Noble Art, fighting with. I used to fight with Billy Ed quite a lot, spar with Billy Ed. I even sparred with Joe Bugner when he fought Clay. I mean, that's. Listen, there ain't many people watching this podcast now, even fighters could say that they've done a few rounds with Joe Bugner, who was fighting Clay, who was there to fight Clay and trained to fight Clay. I'd done that. A lot of people go, yeah, but I'd done that, yeah. And Billy Ed, I sparred with Billy Ed. I loved sparring with Billy Ed. Southpaw learnt me a lot, Bill. He learnt me a lot, you know. He hurt me a lot, Bill. But the one that hurt me more so was Joe Bugner. But mate, I learnt a lot, and I learnt a lot from other people. Pat McCann. I had Pat McCann's cousins and son relations on my podcast saying about my dad, this, that, and the other. He's dead. Me and Pat McCann, very close. Me and Pat. I like Pat McCann, good fighter, fantastic fighter, mate. I see him so fit, so crisp, putting his punches together. He's a lot lighter, but so crisp. I never moved around with Pat McCann. I was a lot heavier than Pat, but it would be, I mean, Pat would have punched me around the gaff in the ring because of the weight he was. You know, you got whack, snapping, and he was a good fighter, put his punches together, good combinations, Pat McCann. Billy Ed, as I say, he was big. And I was big, so we could put them together. I used to train with a guy called Farrell McGee. There's a lot of people might even know Farrell. Farrell McGee, at that stage, it was an open class. I was intermediate, he was open, so he could fight anybody as an amateur, yeah. He used to come down Noble Art with me, And I was maybe 3 rounds with him, 4 rounds, and he was about 19 and a half stone, big guy, woo, and he used to say things, southpaw, you know, and we used to do, I mean, really hammer and tone, bang, bang, bang. And I was, in the end, he said, jump on the floor and say, oh, I used to kick him out the ring and then get in the ring with Billy Ed or Joe Bugner. And my mate Farrell now, you know, someone told me that he's getting better, but someone told me he had his leg chopped off, but then it was a lie. He got gangrene of the leg. He, I mean, Farrell was about 19, 20, maybe even more than that, 24, 25 stone. Drinking too many sugary drinks, and got out of condition, and was in bed for about 3 or 4 years, never moved. And I heard that one woman had someone downstairs, as he lived in like a house, big house. It's his house, but he had someone living downstairs as well. And that woman was quite old, and she had one of his carers come in from the hospital to look after her, and she knocked on Farrell McHugh's door. And someone answered the door and said, look, he said, yes, have you got someone in there who's not very well? She said, yes. And she said, well, I can smell something, and it smells like gangrene. You're joking. She could smell gangrene. She went in and he had gangrene in the leg. And I think what I was told, they saved his leg, yeah, they saved it, yeah. But Farrell, mate, anyway, remember Farrell used to spar with Dana Beckett, mate. Not Dana Beckett, Stansfield, Haverstock Hill, the Noble. And Farrell, I think Farrell also got in and had a few rounds with Billy Ed, and I think he also had a few rounds with Bugner. He was big, my mate. So Bugner would have liked to spar with Farrell, because Farrell's about 19 half stone, and he had a good fight at Farrell. Anyway, and then like you just imagine Pat McCann. I mean, seeing Pat McCann, like, when I moved to Harrow, later on, I see Pat McCann and I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean, that he was like he was. And it shocks you that a man like that can get on sort of like drugs, like we all do. I'm the same. I got on drugs. I never got on the really heavy drugs. I got on crack, which is heavy enough, I suppose. And I got off it, you know. And I was just talking to my probation officer the other day, and they're talking about getting me off as IPP. So I've got no more restrictions. I ain't got to sign on no more. I ain't got to do nothing like that, trying to get me off it, yeah. Because I've had 19, 20 years now as an IPP, and they're telling me it's about time to come off it. So I think it is about time. I haven't killed nobody, you know what I mean? So I'm overexcited with that, for me to get off of it, you know. But to get an IPP saved my life, because I was on crack for a long time, you know, and I was doing some crazy things on crack. I'm on crazy things, and I was going down King's Cross, Bagley's, my mates had Bagley's. I was going down there, I was on crack, and I was waiting for people, and I was bashing people up, nicking all their money, the jury, and then taking it and going and buying crack, and all around King's Cross and all around doing terrible things, you know. And it's mad when you think about it, you know, the things that you should do on crack, you know, it's take over your life. You need money every day. And it seemed, because you're on drugs like that crack, yeah, you seemed that you could get it, yeah, you could get the money to buy crack every day, you know. And it's madness to think you can go on crack like that, you know. And it saved my life. I mean, when I was doing crack, I was doing unbelievable things. I've got stories that come out. It was 24/7. Unbelievable things I was doing on crack, you know, like, you know, going places, just walking in there, and people just leave money on the table, or a ring or a bracelet. And rather than me going to place and start turning the place upside down and nickel their cash, that's bully tactics. That's bullying, yeah. And for the amount, and I mean, I've hurt so many people who are bullies. I can't stand bullies, and there's me bullying myself. You know, going to people's houses, nicking their money and everything like that, yeah. So people just used to leave money out for me, yeah. So it's a lot easier than me going in there just taking it, you know. And it's like going back all them times, you know what I mean? Going back on crack, mate, you know, and it was really bad. I mean, really, honestly, I was a different person. I was a different person to what I am now. When I say different, I mean really, really different, you know, like nasty man, you know, that people see me and sort of run, You know, I didn't care. You know, it didn't matter about me being dead or whatever. All I wanted to do was crack. And you know, come on, I live in Kingston. I lived in Kingston, big house in Kingston. I had a lovely, beautiful woman, Danny, two lovely kids. I had one kid at that time, got right into this cocaine, going down all the clubs, getting into more coke because I was looking after people and I had to be awake. I had to with them 4 days, 3 days at weekends. So I actually got on something to live, you know, to be alive. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, just now and again took a little bit of coke to keep myself together, yeah. And so no one knew I was on any drugs but me, yeah, because everybody else was on something, you know. And I got into it myself, and it was crazy, really. I should never have done that. I should never have got into it, but I did. And then it spoiled my life because I got my Danny got on it. I spoiled her life as well. She got on it, and then we both got on it, and it caused murders between her and the father-in-law and the mother-in-law. And, you know, everyone tried to kill me. I mean, I must have been shot at, I don't know, 6, 7 times. My Danny was told that I was shot in Acton one day, you know, and I went home, I walked up to that, walked around the back with the dogs were barking, she looked down at me and she fainted nearly. She fainted when people told her that I'd been shot. You know, it was someone else, another Ray being shot in Acton, she thought it was me, you know, and been stabbed so many times. I mean, shot at loads of times, you know, and I'm still alive. Please God, I stay alive, yeah. As I say, at the moment now, I'm into this book. I mean, I've got lots of stories in that book that people would love. I mean, my stories start from a child, yeah, all the way up to me being in the Forcer and all this at the end of my life, yeah, and now, up to now, really. My book's the only book on the shelf like that, yeah. Believe me, my book's going to be the only book like that. You won't believe what I went through as a child. Now to the end of it, I went through so much. I mean, all these Essex boys and this, that and the other, they ain't got a clue. My stories are unbelievable. Essex boys only got made who they are because they got shot in a Range Rover. They, you know, I mean, fair play to them, whoever made the books about the Essex boys and they made the films about the Essex boys have hit the front. But they only got what they got because they got shot and killed. Otherwise, no one would have took notice of them, you know what I mean? But I never knew them. All the times that I was around, I never ever got to know them. Never knew who they were, what they were. And I was always around them areas, you know, always. I mean, when I went to see Bill and where he lived, and I remember Bill talking about these boys, Essex boys, and what they've done. They're taking the mickey, they're going to be sorted out the way they're going. They're just bullying people and all that. They're high, heavy firm. They're walking around with guns, shooting people, stabbing people, you know. And he said they ain't going to last long. They're just taking out and out liberties with people, and it's going to be stopped. And what happened? It was stopped. You know, whether or not it's for Bill, I don't think Bill had anything to do with it. Perhaps Bill might have known what was going to go on, but I don't know, you know. But all I know is that it got stopped. And when I heard about it, and I thought, my God, is that the same people, you know? And when you're around all them areas, you can't, I mean, come on. I was always around them areas, and I never, ever heard. And I would look at Nigel Benn. You know, it's crazy that I was around that Nigel, you know, and Ambrose Menzies, he was with Nigel, and all that lot was around them then, you know, down the Barbican and in the clubs with Stretch and Gucci and all that lot, yeah. And I remember all these places. I've got big story. I can't really keep going and going and going. I was going to go all night, you know what I mean? But anyway, this is Bang 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 Ray Hill. Bang 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 Bang. You know what I mean? This is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. There is I've got lots of stories to tell people, you know, but I don't want to I left out loads really because I don't want to spoil my book, because my book's got fantastic stories, more stories than I ever say. I think I've got about 240, 250, maybe 260 my own videos on YouTube and put my podcast. I've only ever interviewed one person. You tell me anybody else on them podcasts that are just talking about themselves. Maybe Yami at the minute, yeah? Yami's doing this talking, but he has interviewed his people. I've not interviewed anybody, yeah? I'd like to interview my mate, you know, Kevin Paddock. I mean, I keep saying I want to do it. I know what I've got to do it because he's interviewed. Listen to me, right? Before I go, my mate Jamie Bennett from Brentford, he phoned me the other day and he was telling me about he's met someone. This guy was in his Coldstream Guards. He fought for us in the Falklands and everything, and, you know, proper man and a gentleman, yeah. He lives, Jamie said, Ray, you've got to do a podcast with this guy. He's really so posh, so polite, everything, yeah. But they've got him on all sorts of medication because of what's going on, where he's gone to fight for this country. All the bullets flying around, the bombs, it's ruined, it's mucked his head up, you know, which it does. You can imagine, can't you? I mean, you're there in the firing line. You never know you're going to get hit by a bullet or, you know, or rocket or whatever it is, and you're going to die. So it mentally does you in, and he's got a child. Something's done to him. It's ruined him. Yeah, mentally ruined him, and they stuck him in a one-bedroom apartment that's no bigger than a fag box. It's crazy. He's got no furniture. He's living like a pig. He's such a nice guy. These social people, welfare people, and all these other things that are supposed to give him money, they don't. They left him to it. This Lee pushed him aside, yeah? Pushed him aside. He's living like a pig. And yet people that come over this country on ferries are given mobile phones. They're giving £200 or £300 a week. They're giving hotels. They're giving place to live. And yet our people that are in this country that fight for us, our people are treated like animals. But if there was a fight in their country, would they go back and fight for them? No, they wouldn't. They'd want to stay here. But would they fight for us? No, they wouldn't fight for us. Something's not right. Something's not right. I've said it before and I say it again. Whatever the British government are getting for every one of these people that are coming over, they've got to be getting a fortune. Because they will not allow these people over here without getting money for them, yeah? Everything's about money. It's not about us no more. It's about money, yeah? Remember that, yeah? You're there, maybe, you know, on my podcast, maybe, you know, but there's a lot of people you know out there, yeah, or on the street. And on the street, because they can't get nothing from the government. They can't get nothing from their council. But people are coming over from other countries are getting everything. And we want to know why. We want to know why. Tell me why it's got to be so different for us. Why? Anyway, this is Ray Bang Bang Hill. Please like and subscribe. Have a good evening and thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.